and we've been through all the good stuff. Let's slide down to the high risk warning. You should only trade what you can afford to lose. Past performance is not indicative of future success. And you should be aware of all the risks associated with trading in general, but especially trading on margin. Do me a favor, take 10 seconds, read this over, and we'll start the show. Cool. Take a screenshot or something of it so you guys can save it. You guys have heard it enough, right? Rod, let's do this. So our next talk is by Mr. Randy Lindsey. Now, Randy's from MT4professional.com. That's MT4professional.com. And today he's going to be talking about trading strategies using the MT4 professional scanner. Now, Randy's been trading since all the way back in 1987 with a primary focus on stocks and stock options, and has recently expanded into, Rodrigo, hold on to your hats, Forex. I know Rodrigo's a big Forex trader. And he's also in the futures trading now also as well. He's an avid programmer and researcher who applies technical training to enhance trading strategies. And again, this is kind of what we've been pointing you guys to, this new technology and stuff like that. He holds a BS in electrical and electronic engineering and an MS in electro-optical engineering. Oh, smart. He's worked on Defense Department contracts involving laser weapons systems and tactical missile seekers. Wow. And he possesses, are there aliens? That's all I want to know since you're here. Are there, he also possesses extensive training in cognitive learning and recurrent neural networks. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Lindsey. Randy, how are you today?
I'm excellent, John. Thank you very much for the introduction.
No problem. We really appreciate you coming by today.
Awesome. This is great. I appreciate the introduction.
No problem. What we're going to do is just shut up and put ourselves on mute, and we give you full control. If you need us, just give us a shout.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. There, you can see that okay. And here, good.
Yes, sir.
All right,
we can see it.
Good. All right, we're ready to go. All right, today I want to talk about trading strategies and how to scan for your specific trading strategy on the MT4 or MT5 platforms. Now, this is a startup company. We've been we're fairly new where we're going to, but we applied our technology to focused scanners and scanning using technical indicators. So we're trying to integrate that and make it very, very easy for you as a user to use your own strategies and techniques in a scanning environment without having to have programming skills. And that's what we're trying to do, is the beauty of our platform. We're going to talk about that today. And I'm going to talk about the most popular trading strategies that people use to make money today. So we'll be going over those as well. Again, disclaimer, I'm here for educational purposes only. That trading with futures, stocks, Forex, options, cryptocurrencies has a large potential for reward, but it also has a large potential for risk. You need to be aware of the risks involved and be willing to accept them if you're going to trade or invest in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so make sure that you get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets, and never trade in a live account until you have first proven that you can consistently and profitably trade a simulated account. And only then can you start tackling the mind game. And that's where 90% of real trading occurs. I am Randy Lindsey, your trade coach. I'm the operations director at MT4 Professional and Resilient Traders. Claudio Cardinal is joining me today. He's our product development director and our technology guru. He puts me to bed whenever we talk about technology. So he's our hotshot tech guy. Today, we're going to talk about popular trading strategies, ones that a lot of our clients use on a daily basis to make money. What a market scanner is, what MT4 Professional really is, and what it's about. I'm going to give you a live demonstration, of course, about what the platform does and how well it can offer you a solution to finding what you're looking for. And I'll make a very special offer toward the end of today's presentation for those of you who are interested in getting going with the platform. Throughout today's presentation, if you put your questions in the chat box or the question and answer panel, I'll notice them and I'll try to answer them as we go through or at a convenient time for all of us. All right, so let's get started. There are many strategies available. There are a few of the most popular ones. First one is pure price action. Someone who just likes to see the charts with a simple or exponential moving average on them. You're looking at price and EMA, exponential moving average and price interactions. You've got price greater than the moving average, you're bullish. If it's less than, you're bearish, and you're just a simple price action trader. So this is probably our most popular one, and we get a lot of requests for this type of strategy scanning. The MACD and signal, of course, is always popular because people understand that. Moving average convergence divergence indicator with the signal line shows you very good entry and exit points along many market lines. It also gives you an integration that you can use with other strategies to use as a entry or exit signal. The moving average crossover is one that a lot of traders, especially longer term traders, like to use to determine overall trend direction. And if you have a fast enough moving average, 1, 2, or 3 different ones, then you can use that one also, like the MACD, to time your entries and your exits. Now, again, most of these are all lagging indicators, so you have to use them to identify overall trend directions and directionality in your trade, and that helps you to stay ahead of the market. Then you can do combinations, and these are some of the combination strategies that traders have put together that have found good success. Using pure price action with the EMA and price, the MACD and signal, and RSI stochastic. So you're looking at relative strength, either being bullish or bearish, overbought, oversold, and so forth. So you're looking for that type of indication in order to get out, because you don't want to be buying into a trend if you're completely overbought. If it's overbought, you're much likely going to be going down. So you're going to be selling when it's overbought, and you're going to be buying when it's oversold. So that's the idea behind the idea combining the strategies. You want to see an alignment where they occur. And the ever popular alligator sums up our list of the top 5, but there's a lot more. The alligator is a longer term trend trading strategy that looks out for, uses hourly charts or greater, but you're looking at daily, weekly, or monthly time frames. The alligator uses 3 different time frames, 3 different moving averages that are referred to as jaws, teeth, and lips. And so if you understand any of that, I'll be going over it in a little bit more detail as we go on. But if we have time, I'll get to that alligator indicator. It's been around for a while. The MT4 professional scanner can scan all of these strategies in real time and a lot more. And it can alert you when the conditions are met for a potential trade entry. So what is a scanner and what is MT4 professional? If you think about the number of symbols or time frames you have access to on your platform, just on MT4 alone, 50 Forex pairs, 20 CFDs, 9 different time frames, that's more than 630 combinations you have to check for a potential trade. Do you really think that you're capable of doing this manually? How often do you miss opportunities when you're going through and looking one at a time at different symbols? There's always something trending all the time, and you want to be able to find them. So trading on different instruments really is a must if you're going to make trading profitable. You can't just sit on one instrument. It'll trend sometimes, but then other times it won't. And so you're not always going to be finding a good trade all the time. In fact, trading uncorrelated instruments is a way to remove uncertainty of an instrument and diversify your portfolio at the same time. So a perfect solution for this would be a market scanner. Now, Mark, how does it work? What is a market scanner? Well, a market scanner, in essence, is an automatic tool that allows you to scan the entire market situation at a glance for any symbols, any time frame, with any of your own custom rules based on standard or custom indicators at your disposal. So it's not a single signal provider per se, but it's a tool that allows you to analyze all of your own strategies using all the indicators you want in the time frames that you're most interested in. Here's an example of the cross of two moving averages. Over on the right, you can see a spreadsheet type layout where the rows are individual symbols and the columns are the time frames that that symbol was evaluated at. So for a bullish cross, I'll identify that as a green box, and a bearish cross would be a red box. The bullish cross is an MA15, a simple moving average 15 period, and a 30 moving average, a 30 period moving average. So the bullish is a 15 crossing above the 30, so 15 greater than 30. The bearish is the 15 under or less than the 30 period moving average. So on the right, you can see very quickly the euro is bullish across two different time frames. You can see the pound, Canadian, Swiss are all bearish, and so forth. And you can see that there is a potential setup here where you've got a longer term bullish, but you got shorter term bearish, which means this is, which means this is either correcting and can return back into the longer term trend, or this is getting ready for a potential reversal. And if this changes to red, then I've got a signal to go long, to go short on this symbol if it does that. Likewise, if this one turns back to green, then I can see it's returned to the existing trend. That is also a very good trade entry position. You can see all the different potential setups here at a glance, showing you the value of what a scanner can do for you. And when one of these conditions are met, then you'll get a signal. You should get a signal that this is something you want to be looking at. So how does it work? Well, a market scanner does all the work for you so that you can focus on more important things like managing the trade or getting your mindset where it belongs. Once it's set up, a scanner would search for conditions that meet your own rules, which is your strategy. It should alert you when conditions are met for a favorable trade entry or exit. So another example of this, if a scanner is set up to look for a pure price action strategy, an exponential moving average and pure price. So I want a green box to occur whenever price is greater than the EMA, and I want a red box whenever it's less than. So very quickly through all of the CFDs, the S&P, the NASDAQ, I've got some gold, some Bitcoin here, some oil, and a couple of Forex items. Then you can see that across 3 different time frames this time, that I've got quite a few interesting setups. The dollar Canadian is bullish across the board. The S&P, the NASDAQ are all bearish across the board. So those are all trending strongly in direction. However, you can see some transitions going on here. The Bitcoin is long-term bearish, but you're starting to see some short-term corrections. Does that mean that's a potential reversal, or does that mean this is just a short-term correction that will very quickly resolve back into a longer-term short trade? So I can see a lot of really good strategic information on this spreadsheet layout here that gives me a lot of really good opportunities to take trades. So I keep talking about time frames, and you notice I use multiple time frames a lot. Well, did you know that if you trade using multiple time frames, that you have a higher probability of a profitable trade? And that's due to correlation. It's just one of the advantages of using multiple time frame technical analysis in your trading. Look over here at the right, you can see 3 different time frames that have the same type of envelope. But notice the 15-minute is so much more noisy than the 1 hour or the 4 hour. The 4 hour has smoothed out a lot of this shorter term time frame noise. So if you're trading the 15-minute or below, then you're into a lot of extreme noise. But if you trade the 15-minute in the direction of the 4 hour, then you'll see that you're going to be holding on to these longer term trades. You're going to be having a higher probability that your trade will end with profit and a lower risk entry because you're going to be trading the direction of the trend. And when this overall trend starts to reverse and go back down, then you're not taking any of the long trades now. You're only going to be taking these short trades and vice versa. So If you're still going to be taking these short trades on a longer trade trend, then make sure that you keep your profit targets short. Take your profits when you get them and make sure that you cut your losses very quickly, because you're trading against the larger trend. And you never want to buck the trend. You always want to be with the trend because the trend is your friend. So if we had a market scanner then that could search for these types of setups that are based on our rules and verified by multiple time frame analysis, it would be an extremely valuable tool, don't you think? So here's a very quick example. Here I've got a 4-hour, a daily, and a weekly chart set up on the Euro US dollar. You can see I'm just scanning Forex pairs here, but you can scan any item or instrument that you have access to. Here I'm looking at a crosshair that shows me where I'm looking at a potential setup. The signal came in when the price action crossed over the 15-period exponential moving average. So that's one signal. I got another signal that showed me the MACD cross over the signal line. That was a confirming signal. And the third signal was a bullish build in relative strength. So when I see the trend of relative strength rising, then I know that that's going to be bullishness because it's coming out of an extremely oversold condition and trending with bullishness. So all three of my conditions were met on this one setup. I want to take this trade. However, I need to validate that with multiple time frames. Am I trading in the direction of the longer term trends, or will I be very quickly stopped out and turned around again? So on the second time frame, I am looking for a MACD cross, a bullish MACD cross, since this is a long trade, and I got that right here. And I'm also looking for, again, bullish relative strength. This is also coming out of a longer term oversold condition and is trending with strength at the crosshair. So second time frame confirmation, check. Now all I need to check to see is if my weekly confirmation is showing me a bullish relative strength. I'm not really concerned about the overall relative price action because it's a weekly chart. The MACD is usually pretty slow since it's lagging. I might or might not even get one on a weekly chart for quite a while. However, I can see relative strength building. It's not a leading indicator, but it is a good test to see whether I have building market strength coming in behind me. So this is like the headwind. So when I see my weekly chart coming out of an oversold condition, trending with strength, then I know that there's a lot of buying pressure coming into the market and I'm ready to make my trade. So there I have it. 1, 2, 3 on my first time frame, 2 on my second time frame, and 1 on my third time frame gives me confirmation and the confidence I need to go ahead and take this trade. As you can see, the trade ended up becoming very profitable, and that was over 300 pips of profit in a particular trade setup that the scanner showed me was getting ready to go and did. So by taking trades in harmony with a longer time frame, I get a lower risk trade opportunity and a higher probability the trade will end in my favor. It's a powerful combination for any trader. It shows the importance of using multiple time frames in your trading. And a market scanner using multiple time frame analysis is an extremely valuable tool because it does all of this for you automatically. The problem that we ran into as professional traders was that we could not find any scanners that met our needs. We were looking for something to help us to make our trades much easier. But what we did find was too complex to configure, which meant you had to be a programmer to use it. They were unstable, or maybe even a single tool not integrated with the entire system. They were incompatible with a lot of the indicators that we already had that are available to us. And there are a lot of other issues that we ran into. So our solution became create our own. And so we decided to create MT4 Professional ourselves for our own daily trading. A lot of people found out about it. We started sharing it and giving it out. Pretty soon, it became a demand. So now it is the #1 market scanner on MT4 and MT5. It's a tool that allows you to instantly scan the entire market for setups that match your unique rules and criteria. And when you find a good setup, MT4 Professional allows you to enhance your technical analysis, enabling multiple time frame analysis, which really isn't so easy to do on MT4 and MT5. And I'll show you that here in just a minute, because it's to set that up and to use that is a nightmare. So I'll show you how we do it. So let's go right into a live demonstration. So far, I haven't got any questions, so either I'm boring you to death or I'm giving you good information, and I hope it's the latter. Let me pull up my MT4 platform, get this set up so that, oh, I grabbed the wrong window. Didn't want to do that. So notice when I go into full screen mode that I still have a lot of wasted space down here. All right, this is just standard MT4. This is not MT4 Professional. So I have to resize my windows in order to take advantage of this space. Or maybe if I went into full screen mode, notice I've got space all over the place that I can't use. So a lot of people say, well, just, use your window tool and retile it. Well, notice that my windows are different sizes. This one is a small, narrow window. This one's a much larger, broader setup. So if I did that, I would have to drag and scale these out anyway. So I'd have to physically redraw these and make them to fit the window. Okay, that's not that bad. But now I'm going to go back and, it's just like I have to do this all over again. Now I don't even have the window down here to scroll it up. So I have to go back into full screen mode, do it again, and then resize it. Okay. And then I don't know where it was or where it's going to end up. So I have to kind of make it smaller. Okay, you guys hear me, right? You guys have done this quite a few times before, right? So okay, it's not real easy. So what's one of the things that we wanted to make right was that MT4 Professional, we fixed all that. Also notice if I'm looking at multiple time frames, here I just have one time frame. But if I were to go to another chart, say here one that has 3 different time frames, then I've got a 15, 30, and an hourly chart. If I want to check the alignment of a particular trade setup, like right here, this one bottomed out, gave me a nice trend down, broke the downtrend, gave me a nice strong bar breakout trade. I want to take a trade right at that point. So that's a really good point of entry. So I want to see that trade. I want to see this point right here on the other charts to see if my longer terms agree with that or if I'm just going to be bucking the trend. Well, this is that. In order to do that, you have to look down at the bottom of your chart to find the date and the time, because notice there's no crosshair on any of the other windows. I have to physically put that right there in order to make it work. And then I have to go over on this one. I have to look at that particular time and price to find out if that was it. So that was 10:30, 38, 10:45. So yeah, it was right in there. All right, and then the third time frame again. You see where I'm getting at? It's like it's not that easy. It's a little bit difficult actually to be able to do that. Here you've got a nice hook. That's a great trade setup. Here you've got a nice reversal pin bar. That's a really great setup. So those are all 3 confirming bullish trade setups, but you want to be able to identify them. And it's really hard to see them all at the same time if you don't have integrated multiple time frames. Also, these are all the euro. If I need to change the symbol, I can't link any of these windows. So I physically have to drag and drop the symbol from my watch list over onto each one of these. And then you can see that that's just, I want to go back and you see the problem. It's just not real easy to work with. And there are a lot of other issues I have to worry about, but let's go ahead and launch the MT4 Professional platform. And I'll show you a little bit more, a better, more professional way to trade. It's set up as a profile on MT4. So notice that first thing it does is it comes up with what we call a configuration. A configuration is a set of scanner data, symbol lists, and chart layouts that you have that will always be ready at your ready. So if I have one that's called the EMA and price, I'll go ahead and load that one and show you. it comes up with a pre-configured chart layout. You can see I've got a 5-minute, I've got a 15-minute, a 30-minute. You can see the crosshair that automatically links me directly to any of these time frames. All right, so I can see at any point where there's a break that break occurred, and I can see that that's in line with the longer term trends. So that's a very nice point for entry, and that also is a great potential 10, 15 pip trade right there, just from that one setup alone. So if you were able to go back to the start or the breakout of that, where it was breaking through the trend line, then you can see that that was a great potential trade entry, and you can see it very clearly. So what my scanner then is going to be doing is it's going to be looking for these types of setups and help me to see those. Right now you can see the euro is red, red, green. So you can see the price is less than the EMA, price is less than the EMA. Here, price is greater than the EMA. So that's showing me, without even looking at the chart, I can see all the other chart setup and determine that, oh, okay, the pound is in the same setup. This one is reversing. It's got a 1 and 15 minute. Now it can find some support if it hits the 30-minute EMA. It can bounce off like it did several other times and then reverse back around again, but then I'll see that the 1 minute should come out, the 5-minute will turn green before the 15-minute, and it'll show me that there is a potential bounce and resumption of the longer term trend. But if it does not, and this turns and breaks through and goes red, then I know that I've got a much longer term trade alignment. So that's the idea behind checking multiple time frames, is to make sure that you've got plenty of room to take this trade to the downside, but you know that you have to expect some potential reaction at this point, and you'll be looking for that. So that's the nice thing about this. So look at your configuration. Let's see how we've set this up. So if I edit that configuration file, on the right-hand side, you can see a picture of the chart layout. If I click that, then it shows me that I have configured 3 windows. One is a large window on the left. The other 2 are small windows on the right. I can establish the time frame just with simple pull-down menus. I can establish the template, that's the look and the feel of the chart behind there, with simple pull-down menu templates. Or if you click the plus sign, you can pull from any template that you've already developed on your platform. So any template you already built, you can use and bring it into the system. Now, because the system is completely cloud-based, then all of your data is kept in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about losing it. And then all of your templates and stuff will also be backed up into the cloud as well. You can set these things up with the simple drag and drops. You can tile them, move them around, set them up in any row or column configuration. You can add any windows and then tile them. So you can set these up. It's very simple and easy to use. Make sure you select the template that's available to you for that, and move things around if you need to, change time frames. If you have a layout that you already have put the work into, but you don't want to recreate it, then just start from that file. Start from another configuration, click on the configuration name, and you can pull it straight in. So it saves a lot of effort and work on that. So that's the configuration chart layout. Over on the left-hand side, you can see the scanner panel. The scanner panel has the symbol list and the actual scanner itself. So if I click on that, then I have the option to set up my symbol list. Any symbol that you have access to on your platform, you can choose, you can populate your list with it. If you want to use all the symbols, or if you just want to use the subset like I did here. Here's a subset of just the ones that I specifically want to see, that I know that should be giving me good trade setups throughout the day. Some are going to be inherently bullish, some will be inherently bearish, and I like to be able to see all of them. On the right hand side, you can see the scanner. This is where you have all your rules. So this is where you put in what we refer to as color rules. A color is basically, what is the spreadsheet layout here going to look like if your signal is triggered. So usually people put green for bullish or red for bearish, but you can use any color that you want. Magenta, yellow, blue, whatever. to help you to identify your trade setup. And you can use different hues as well. So if you have a red that could be a dark red or a light red or pink even, then you can see varying degrees of bullishness or bearishness if you have indications or strategies that have that type of output. So here you can see this is my scanner configuration. This one is set up with 3 columns of 5, 15, and 30-minute timeframes. So you can see each one of these boxes refer to each separate column, 5, 15, and 30. Okay. If I want to add another column, all I have to do is click this big plus sign. Okay. It automatically gives me a new column. It'll be an hourly column. And I apply the color rule by simply toggling it on. And now I have that color rule applied to an hourly chart as well. It'll give me a whole new column, and it'll be applying all the same rules that you see running here on these time frames on one more column. Right? And if you decide you don't really want that one after all, because it's slowing your computer down too much, then just get rid of it. Right? Speaking of that, here in the configuration settings, you can see that you can control the prefix or the postfix of your symbols by putting those in here. And you can increase or decrease the speed of your scanner based upon how fast or slow your computer is. So if you're just using your brother's laptop that he bought from, Best Buy, then you probably want to keep this at slow. If you have a premium trading computer, then you probably can set this up too fast. I like to keep mine at medium because it handles both worlds, and it is consistent, stable on my computer. So test that around and see how it goes for you as well on that. So the color rule, that's your strategy. This is what you use to help you to find the trades that you're looking for. So for your price action strategy, you're looking for price action, i.e. the close of price, to be greater than or equal to the moving average. Well, this is just plain English. You're looking at this and seeing that you're comparing this item with this item using this operator. And the operators and the items all are pull down menus, so you can use these things if you're looking for equality, not non-equality, or greater or equal to. So you've got all the options that are there. I want to see the price, as in this example, greater than this moving average. So I want to see this green if that is true. If this is not true, then this goes away and it goes to condition set 2, which is what's going to look at a closer price less than the exponential moving average. So in this case, it's less than. This will come back red and not green. Now, if you ever get a condition where neither one of these are true, then by default, it'll go to the yellow color. However, with a greater than or equal to or less than, it'll always be one or the other. It will never be yellow. So this is another good test for you. So this is the strategy for that. Whenever this condition is met, it'll turn the cell green or it'll turn the cell red. Now, you can use any color that you want. Just by pulling the menu down, you can use standard colors real quick. You can set up your colors, or you can go to the advanced panel and just put in whatever specific color that you want. So it's a nice system for doing that. If you have more than one condition that you want to look at, then just click the plus below that, and then you'll get the AND operator coming in. So this condition has to be true, and this condition has to be true in order for this condition set to be true. All right. If you don't find the need to have that, then just simply get rid of it and you're right back to where you were. The plus sign at the end of the comparing items are the ability to pull in any indicator that you have at your disposal. So by hitting that, then you can choose any indicator, any standard indicator that you have on the platform, or any purchased third-party indicator that you might already have access to. So here are the standard indicators. Or if you're a programmer and you already programmed your own indicators, you can pick that from here, or you can pick any third-party indicator from here as well. So by clicking on this, you can select what category that you're under. So if I'm looking for, say, a relative strength, then I can select the oscillators, and I'm looking for my relative strength information. So I can use that indicator, and I want to set this up. So here's my input parameters. 14 period based upon the close of price. That's what I want to see. So click OK. And then now you can see I've got the relative strength in here. Now I didn't want to replace my close of price. So what I want to do is I want to come back and add a new line and then use that relative strength value. I want to see that my relative strength, if I'm looking for bullishness, I want to see that that relative strength is less than, in this case, a constant value of 30. Okay, so if I have relative strength less than 30 and price is actually moving greater than my moving average, that's a really strong bullish setup that I'm looking for. You can see that there's a strong demand for price coming out of weakness on the overall trend. So that's a really good setup. So that's the idea behind that. You want to be able to put parameters here that give you information that you're getting into the proper trade. You do just the opposite over here on this side. You would say, okay, give me my relative strength. Oh, don't do that. I'll pull this in. I'll pull the relative strength. And in this case, I want to make sure that it is greater than, in this case, I don't want to use 30. I want to use 70. You can use 20 and 80 if you like. It's a relative strength. But if I'm greater than 70, i.e. it's overbought, and you start to see heavy selling pressure coming in, that's a great setup as well. So that's how you do it. It's how quick and easy you can set it up, and you can do that on that. Once you have that set up, and I call that a main color rule, you apply it to whatever time frame that you want to give you a signal on your scanner panel based upon your rules. And to get alerted, all you need to do is make sure that the real-time notification box is checked, and then you'll get notifications either through your Telegram account on your cell phone as well, if you have those set up. If you don't have them set up and you check this, then you'll still get notifications. They'll just be on your platform. It'll be in the bottom corner of your computer monitor. It'll be an email through your platform provider or so forth. So it won't be from us. But if you set up your phone number or your Telegram account, then we will send you alerts directly, no matter where you are. So this is a great setup to do that as well. Also, if you've already done a configuration from another strategy and you just want to tweak it a little bit, you don't have to start from scratch. You can just start from another configuration and then change things up just a little bit in order to be where you want to be. That's the beauty of the system. It's very easy to use and configurable. Once you have this set up and running, make sure you give it a good name. There's a space for a description so that you know what it is you're looking for and what this strategy contains. And then make sure that you save it. Always save the button. It'll check mark here, and then it'll tell you that you've saved and that it's been backed up in the cloud. Now, anytime you save or back these things up in the cloud, you have access to them from anywhere. So if you lose your computer, if your computer is stolen, if your hard drive crashes, whatever the reason, your data is secure because it's backed up in the cloud automatically. When you get your computer back or you get it back up and running again, all you have to do is download and install the software, and all of your data automatically appears, and you don't have to worry about getting it or rebuilding it or starting over from scratch. And then the bottom right-hand corner is a share icon. This allows you to share any of your configurations with any other MT4 professional user in our traders network. It allows you the opportunity to, if you're working with a group of traders or a funded trading account, it allows you to work with other traders to get them up to speed very quickly. So you can share with them the strategies that you're already using, and they can get up to speed right away just by following your own signals. You use that from the share panel. So close the window and make sure that you click the load button, because if you don't reload the configuration from the cloud, then all you have running on your computer is the same old setup. So always hit the load button if you want to see the changes applied to the current charts. Okay, so far I haven't seen any questions come across, so I think I'm doing a good job. I'd like to think that as well. Let me pull up one other example. I go to my configurations window. Notice in here I've got the section that's called customs, which I've created myself. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see presets. The presets are what you'll see when you first get your account. These are all of the ones we include with the subscription so that you don't have to start from scratch. You have all of these examples that you can start from. So by creating your own, you can copy any one of these presets into your own template and then start modifying it and using it just the way I showed you earlier. And the inbox at the very bottom shows you configurations that have been sent to you from other people. So you can take these configuration files and use them just like you would any of the other preset files. Just create your own configuration from that file, and then you have a copy of it, and you will be able to do that. So notice when I click on a preset, it doesn't allow me to edit it. That's why you have to create your own. It's a copy of it. So that way you don't corrupt any of the presets. The same with those that are received. You can create your own from it, but you cannot change it. That way you preserve the integrity of the original file. Okay, let me go to something a little more complex. Where's my MACD? I'm trying to find that. There it is. All right, this is a much longer term time frame setup where we're looking for 4-hour daily and weekly chart setups. You saw a little bit of that earlier. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to determine the relative strength, MACD crossover, and price action all at the same time. So this is a much more complex strategy that we're going to be looking at. So looking at the actual strategy, I call it strong signal. You can see I've got more than one strategy loaded. You're not limited to just a single strategy. So if you have a couple of strategies you want to employ, an entry strategy, a moving stop strategy, an exit strategy, a reversal strategy, or whatever, then you can have multiple strategies in there and you can apply them to any of the timeframes that you want. So in this particular setup, I have strong signal applied to my 4-hour and daily, but I have my trend applied to the weekly. So I never want to trade away from that trend. That's the idea behind that. If you have data that you want to show on the spreadsheet, then the indicator to show allows you to take any indicator and output the data directly onto the cell here. So if you have like a relative strength value you want to see, it'll output the value of the relative strength in the cell along with the color. And you can give it a name. So if you don't like the name of H4 for the column, which is the default, it'll always do the default column by the time frame. You can give it a different name. So instead of H4, you can say 4-hour, or you can say Johnny, whatever you want to call this name. You can call it anything. Let's edit this strong signal and see what we're looking at. Here you can see I've got 3 different conditions that I'm looking for in this condition set. I need to see the MACD, and in this case I've got 2 separate MACDs. So I've got a MACD base indicator, which is the white histogram that you see on the chart, and I'm comparing that with my MACD indicator, but in this case it is a signal line, which is the red line that you see there. So I'm looking, I have 2 instances of the same indicator, but I'm looking to see that the histogram is less than the signal, which is a great short into that. Okay, the next one is price action. So you're looking for the price to close less than the EMA 15, and you're looking for a downward trending relative strength. So I'm looking at the relative strength 2 bars ago, and I'm comparing that now to the current relative strength. And you say, well, how do you do that? Well, if you look at that, the data, then you can see that I shifted the output to look 2 time frames back in time, so that I'm looking at historical data. So if you're looking at previous data with the current data, it'll give you a trend information. 2 points will create a line. And so that shows you whether it's sloping up or sloping down. So if I have a downward slope, that's bearish as well. So all 3 conditions have to be met because of the AND operator. True, 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 my cell will be red. If any one of these are not true, 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 false, this is false, and then it goes to the OR operator, which is the next cell. Then it checks for this. Well, if that's not true, then it checks for it. Well, is your MACD bullish? Is that bullish? Is that bullish? Okay, if all three of those are true, then it will be green. If, however, here you've got this one is not true, and then over here you had this one is not true, then both of these are not true. The default color then would be displayed because this is not true or this is not true. So it will default to yellow, which tells me this trade is not set up yet. It's in consolidation or it's congested. It needs more time to develop. That's the idea behind that. Okay. So you can see it doesn't matter how complex or simple your strategy is, you can configure the system to set it up to use that. The longer term trend is a strategy that just looks at the price action. I need to see if price is greater than or less than the overall exponential moving average. So I've been bullish on here for quite some time, and I'm just now gotten to a bearish point. And you can see price has gone bearish, but it's starting to rally back up above again on the shorter time frame. So there's some conditions here that might or might not be met, but I can't take a long until that moves back up above that setup. So that's the idea behind that. Okay. And you can use them with any third-party indicator as well. So let me pull this up to something that is near and dear to my heart. Yeah, so these are ones that I've developed. And so you can see the trend, the automatic trailing stop, the heat map, which is the momentum, and the volume, which is color coded to show you the pressure coming from selling, the pressure coming from buyers. And I've applied the indication to price to show you the where that pressure is applied. So you want to be able to see where the conditions are met to do that. So my scanner then is looking for these types of setups where I'm looking on the fastest time frame. I want to see that the trend, the momentum, and the volume are fully in agreement. So that's what the first one looks for. You can see 3 different checks are coming into that. So let's take a look at this configuration real quick just to see what is it that we're looking at. So you can see that I have 3 different rules that are all turned on, and I'm looking at the trend, at the volume, and the heat map. On the second time frame over here, then I only want to look at the trend. I only want to look at the heat map and the volume. So if you look at this, you can see I've turned the trend off. Because it's a longer time frame, the trend is not as important to me as the momentum that's coming or the volume behind it. And then the third time frame, I want to be looking at the volume only, because volume really is the only leading indicator that you have, because it shows you what's coming into the market before price, and price always responds to volume. So that's the setup that I'm specifically interested in on that to give me these signals. So once those are done, it will signal me that these setups are good. Now you can see the euro pound just went all red. So the New Zealand US dollar just went all green. So those are the setups I'm looking for potential trades on these configurations. That's what I want to be able to see. I want to see that the bullishness or bearishness are all in agreement. Notice this is just not a good setup here if you're looking for that potential trade. Here you can see the pound Swiss. By clicking on the symbol, it automatically changes all the symbols for me. You can see that it is in a long-term short position, but I'm starting to see bullish volume coming in. And I saw that over here on the chart just by looking at the sell. The sell is starting to show volume is coming in, and I saw that coming in. That's showing correction potential, that the start of a potential corrective move is here. So if I were going to be taking a short-term profit, when that started to occur, I wanted to be able to take that profit off the table, wait for the correction, and then when it resumes in this direction, then you can see I'm getting it at a much better place than where I had started back here. So it produces whatever signal that you've given it based upon your own configuration and rules. Now say that your you're in the setup in your trade and you're getting ready to go, but you have to go to lunch or you have to go out for a meeting or something. Well, you can take MT4 Professional on the road with you. So I'm going to pull up my browser and I'm going to drag it over here so you can see it. This is my browser. If you log into the MT4 Professional website, you'll come to the MT4 members area. This is your backend users area where you can download the software. You go through all the onboarding stuff to get you up and going. We even have our own online help and documentation center for videos and training and documentation. But from here, if you go to the real-time scanner right here, and what this does is it allows you to pull up the account that you're using, the computer that the platform is running on, and it will automatically load the information that you have from the symbol and display it on the chart for you. Now, it's normally already loaded up and going. I'm not sure why it's taking so long right now. Oh, I know why. It's because I'm in a presentation. That's why. Murphy. Well, anyway, so you can see that I've got a representation of the same scanner in real time, the same scanner that I've got running on my platform. Now, if I were to change or click on any of these symbols, I want to go back to the pound US dollar. So that looks like a good potential setup. I click on my mobile device, my cell phone, my laptop, or whatever. It automatically synchronizes with my computer back in my home office. It changes the symbol, takes a snapshot, and sends it to me. So I can see, okay, why was it that this one particularly looks so good? You can see that it's really starting to push out. It's in a really nice long-term bullish trend, but I'm looking at potential neutral or congested volume starting to hit this. You can see the trend is moving down. You get neutral volume coming in. Oh, well, look at the time. It's 4 o'clock in the evening. You're not going to see any good trades coming out during this time frame. So this is already telling you, don't take the trade. But it sure looked nice coming up into that. But you can see that, and you know that now because you had access to it and you weren't even in the office. So there we go. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my special offer. So I want to rifle through this really quick because I'm out of time. But I want to offer you guys the full featured MT4 or MT5 platform, MT4 Professional. You get access to our Skype community. You get unlimited storage and configurations, unlimited Telegram messages, email push notifications, and up to 100 SMS notifications, dozens of pre-configured presets, all for only $77 a month. We've reduced that by 50%, and then we've taken another 20% off of that. This is a really great price for doing that. If you use the code FINPUB, FINPUB, then it'll knock off from the 97 another $20 to your 77 price, and put that in the trials. The link for that is mt4professional.com/trial, and let me post that for you. Actually, I can't do that, but you'll have to do that for me. So there's the link to that, John, or probably if you could post that out, I'd appreciate it. Get us going. There you go. Thank you. And if you 14-day free trial, get going to get started on that. 14 days to try it absolutely free. You won't be charged a penny. If you cancel anytime before the 14 days are over, then you're completely done and you can get out of there. And no money will come out of your account whatsoever. And if you ever have a question, then you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com. That is support@mt4professional.com. We guarantee 24-hour response. If we don't respond within the hour, we will definitely give you an answer within 24 hours and help you to get back on board. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I appreciate it. You guys have been a great audience, and I wish I had more questions. I didn't see hardly anyone's questions. I do have a 1 minute to get the last one, but you asked, will it produce signals for certain option strategies, as would it scan the most promising bull put spreads for certain time frames? No, it would not. It's right now it's not set up for options, so it wouldn't be able to scan for that. I apologize. Which software is better, MT4 Professional or AMI Broker? You can use MT4 Professional on any MT4 or MT5 platform. So AMI Broker is a brokerage account that offers MT4 and MT5, so it will be available for using on either one of those platforms using your broker. So yes. All right. Well, thank you for your time and attention. Again, John, thank you for the opportunity to come here. I look forward